At the end of 2024, I decided that enough was enough and that I wanted to make some changes. So the two changes, or the two new habits that I wanted to introduce, was going to yoga twice a week and starting a YouTube channel and uploading once per week. And well, at the time of filming this, I actually achieved those things. So it's the end of January. I did not quit on Quitter's Day, which is the second Friday of January, I believe that I read. And I'm really proud of myself for sticking with it. So I just want to talk about these two new habits that I started, why I started them, and why I believe I was able to stick with them, in the hopes that if you want to start a new habit that you can do it too. Now, I never actually read Atomic Habits by James Clear. I own the book, but I haven't read it at all. I have seen some TikToks and listened to some podcasts about habits, so I did try to incorporate things that I learned in those podcasts. I actually incorporated two concepts from content creators that I follow here on YouTube. One is from Modern Millie and the other is from Erin On Demand. And Modern Millie talked about something called habit layering, where kind of like habit stacking, which is talked about pretty commonly now online. She described habit layering as layering a new habit each month and kind of building on top of that. It was something like that. I haven't watched the video in a while, but the concept kind of stuck with me because I think what actually turns people off of habits is they feel like they're doing too much too quickly, they're stacking too many habits, and it just becomes unsustainable and more of a burden rather than something you can sustain to do. I decided to try two new habits, like I said, and I'm going to introduce more over the course of the months. So in February, March, April, as the months go on, I'm gonna try to layer new habits that have to do with YouTube. So maybe filming better B-roll or better thumbnails one month, and taking one skill at a time and building each skill on top of each other like that, and use that habit layering method that Modern Millie talks about. The other method is from Erin On Demand, and she talks about her top 3 priorities, and she kind of built like a brand around that too. And I really liked that concept because, again, I didn't want it to be too overwhelming. I didn't want a to-do list that was a mile long. Each day this month, I wrote down 3 things that I needed to do that day and made sure that I accomplished those. And then after that, if I needed or wanted to do more, I could. But if I did those top 3 things, then I considered it to be a good day, a productive day. So I started going to yoga twice a week. I had only done yoga a few times in my life, but I decided that I really wanted to start it up because of the physical benefits, of the benefits for tightness and flexibility, really helping loosen my muscles. I have scoliosis, which is a back condition where your back is curved. So I figured it would be good for that. And I really liked the mental health benefits of yoga too, of kind of clearing your mind, of being mindful of your breath, things like that. And there's also a lot of benefits to the heat component of yoga. So there's a similar benefit to hot yoga as there is to going to a sauna, for example. So all of those things together, I figured I was kind of achieving a lot of my goals with one type of practice, so I decided to start going to yoga. And I think what actually made that a habit for me was their cancellation policy, and the fact that if I didn't show up to the class, that I would be charged or I would have some sort of negative penalty for not going to the class. So signing up for those classes knowing that I had a penalty to incur if I didn't go really helped me stay on track and stay focused to make that commitment and to make sure that I actually made it to those classes. And it really only took me a week or so to realize that I really liked yoga and that I wanted to continue going. So even after forming that initial habit, it started to become easier and easier over time, and the penalty wasn't so much of what was bringing me there anymore. It was more because I feel like I got into a consistent groove with it. It helped that a lot of people in my life, some family members and friends, were also going to yoga too. So I feel like I had a community around me that was encouraging me to go. And I think that speaks a lot to why it was easier to start that habit, because there were people around me encouraging me. And I guess that's a piece of advice that I would have for anyone trying to start a habit, is to try to set the scene to make the habit stick. So get encouraged by your friends and your family. Make it so that it's impossible to skip going to a class, like in my example, that you would get charged if you didn't go to the class. I think I set up the correct environment, and that really helped me form that habit of going to yoga. The second habit that I started was publishing a YouTube video one time per week. And the reason I wanted to start on YouTube was to get comfortable in front of the camera. Since I'm already doing marketing work, I really wanted to hone in on the YouTube skill and the content creation skill. And I wanted to get better at storytelling, articulating my thoughts, and all of the benefits that come along with building a personal brand on YouTube. I made some videos about this, but I really think the world is moving in that direction where even if you don't want to be a content creator, you're going to be required in some capacity at some point to put yourself out there publicly and demonstrate your skills to an employer or to a client or whoever you want to sell services or sell your brand to. So I really, I guess, wanted to get ahead of the curve and practice those skills and start a YouTube channel to kind of get that ball rolling. The reason I was able to keep producing one YouTube video a week very consistently was that I broke it out during the week. So I never wanted filming a YouTube video to feel overwhelming. So I would take one full day to do one thing related to the video. So one day I would think of a topic. The next day I would not really script it. I haven't fully scripted my videos, but write down the hook and some main points that I wanted to cover in the video. One day I would actually film the video, the next day I would edit the video, and then I would finally put it out. So I would spend an entire week breaking out one YouTube video in order to upload it at the end of the week. And I think that's the reason why it didn't feel so overwhelming, because content creation is a lot more overwhelming than we think it is. And I really put it into my head that I didn't want to make it super difficult, and I wanted to make it sustainable and something that would feel natural to me eventually. And each week I was excited to think about a topic for a video, to film it, to edit the video, to make a thumbnail. I kind of gamified the process and tried to make it feel as natural as possible. And I guess there's a little element of fake it till you make it there too. Now, why did building these two habits actually work for me? I think there are a few reasons for that. And the first one is I got really intentional and wrote everything down. So I have a planner where I physically write down and cross off things that I need to do for the day. And I really made this little book hold me accountable. Like I would think about, okay, like I still have these two other things on my to-do list. It's 1 p.m. I really need to get them done. I started time blocking and kind of estimating how long certain tasks would take me. So I would look at the things that I needed to do for the day and say, okay, this will probably take me an hour. You know, filming a video will probably take me this long. Editing the video will probably take me this long. And I would prepare the workday based on that and think to myself, okay, I have all of these things to do. I have this amount of time in the day, and I believe that it's going to take me this amount of time to do. And that actually really helped me a lot because I was able to visualize what the day was going to look like before it even started. Another thing I did was I planned every single week on Sunday night. Even if it wasn't down to the detail, I at least planned Monday. And that helped a lot too, as I said, to kind of visualize the day, to figure out what I need to do, to figure out the kind of willpower I needed to get through the week. And that really, really helped me. Like I didn't want to wake up on any day and feel like I didn't know what I needed to do that day. So for all of January, I never woke up without a plan. I always knew at least somewhat what needed to be done for that day. And that really started to solidify and to cement those habits into my brain. I know there is a lot of science to habits. Like I said, there's a lot of resources about it. There's Atomic Habits, there's a lot of podcasts, and I'm not claiming I have all the answers, but this is the stuff that worked for me. And I want to continue to talk about my habits, how I'm building this YouTube channel, how I'm learning new skills to keep the channel fresh and to provide value, and to eventually make this a place where we can talk about personal growth, where we can talk about careers and marketing and some of the stuff that I've already been talking about on this channel. And I look forward to adding my next habit layer next month and taking you guys along. So if that's something you want to follow along with, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.